journaling time.
Oh, yeah. Let me get some tunage going on here. All right. Got a couple people trickling in. I didn't send out the email tonight. So, some people, it might just be the regulars and people finding their way to us, which is totally cool. I needed all the time in the world today to even get this program out. It's been a little crazy. All right. People showing up. That's good. That's good. Say what's up so we know who's here. Let me get my little ticker going.
Hello.
Who we got? I can't see the chat. Oh, there we go. Deidre's here. Good to see you, Deidre. Got Geeky Witch in the house. Awesome.
Guys.
How's everybody's week been since we last seen you? I felt like we could rock some like chill ambient music tonight. We did the jazz last week, which was pretty good. It was all bopping, but I was feeling like in this ethereal headspace today. I thought we could have some nice ambient tunes as we write this evening. Got Misty's here. Good to see you again. Kathy Pooh. Awesome.
Hello. Good to
party
see everyone.
Good party. Nice, Darlene. All right.
Darlene.
Got it. It's already like a really solid group here. This is gonna be good. Kathy says I survived my week, and so did my kids. That's good.
Congratulations, Kathy. Yeah, sometimes it's hard just getting by. But
yeah. We're surviving too over here, but it's all good.
Yeah.
It'd be even better once we journal about it.
In the world, huh?
What's up, Mary?
Exactly.
Chella's here. Hello, hello. Carrie's in the house from Hudson Valley.
Hudson Valley, welcome. Hi.
Geeky Witch, I survived another trip around the sun. Oh, happy belated. Unless it's today.
Yes,
it's not today,
birthday.
Is it? I think I saw the notification because I did. I sent you a happy birthday message on Facebook. I hope you got it. Darlene, up and down this week, but all good because we recovered. Ready for this evening?
I like the optimism.
Yes, we have to maintain an optimistic posture. It's not always easy to do that, but I think it's good. I think that keeps us moving forward in a healthy and growing sort of way. That's my thoughts on that, at least. Well, happy birthday! Shout out.
Absolutely.
Geeky Witch. No, it was Sunday. That's right. Okay. Mary Kay, happy birthday, Geeky Witch. Lots of love from the community. Good stuff. All right, yeah, so we got a nice tight-knit group here this evening. I think you all are going to enjoy what I put together for us this evening. It's I was like, what do we write about? We already did our New Year's resolutions, and we had to do that. We definitely had to do that. And then, it's been a whirlwind of a week, as it has been for many weeks. Like, it's constant. And, I was just thinking about how, in spite of it being constant, it maybe feels so crazy because it's always just changing. Everything's just always changing. It's so hard to grasp what's going on sometimes. And, even when you do something like be intentional about it, set your New Year's resolutions, set your goals, journal about it all the time. It dawned on me that, amidst all this change, life doesn't always show up how you expect. Doesn't mean it's good or bad necessarily. But, I think there's some things that are going on under the surface when there's a lot of personal change going on. And personally, I just feel like something's shifting in the collective a little bit. I feel that. I don't know if you guys feel that, but, obviously a lot's been going on in the news and people feel different ways about it. People feel pretty strongly about it. And in spite of all that, no matter which, side of the fence you fall on, like politically, socially, economically speaking, it does feel to me like despite the division, there is some sort of change going on under the surface. And so want to take a look at that. And I think, obviously we have to do that through our own personal lens, but I think it'll be really cool to emerge from these prompts that we put together this evening and do what we do, kind of share our wisdom, our insights, and just, check in with each other, see how we're doing. I mean, it's a crazy world we're living in, but we keep journaling, we keep turning the pages, and we keep showing up for each other. So that's got to mean something, right? So I think you'll like everyone. You'll like the program that I put together for everyone. Let me go ahead and get this ticker off here and try to share on the screen here. All right, so we're going to be journaling through the new app again. It's still not out to the public, but at least our timers work, and I'm proud of that. So we're going to be hopefully in good shape with that this evening. But this evening's program is called The Quiet Arrival. The little description I wrote here says, we're going to be noticing the subtle shifts and new patterns forming in your life without the pressure of planned outcomes. So this series helps you recognize what is naturally taking root and how these emerging parts of yourself feel as they come into view. So hope that sounds exciting for everyone. And, it's going to be it's a chill one, but it's a deep one. I think this one's going to bring a lot of you deep. And so, the one thing I always stress whenever we go kind of deep is, hey, if you ever rub up against something that doesn't feel particularly good and it's, you're not sure how to deal with it, like, I always want you to be brave, but you don't ever force yourself, to have a bad time here. That's not what we're about. I think, but if you do notice that stuff, it's important information. It's important feedback from your body, mind, spirit, all that. So if anything deep but uncomfortable and nerving comes up, write it down and bring it to somebody who's qualified to help you. That said, let's get messy. We do that here. I think it's cool, and we're all here for you. And I love this little tribe, this little community that we've got here. Let's get into it. I see we've got a couple more comments. Yeah, I agree with you. Tomorrow has got to be better, right? You always got to reach for the better thought, the better feeling. Not always easy, but it's easier when you become in touch with the present moment and with a little bit of awareness, of course. Darlene says, we are all living and feeling life, and as long as you survive to talk about it, it is all good. That's a nice way to look at it.
I like that. Absolutely. Being a human is hard.
We got a human from Michigan joining us. What's up, Patty? Good to see you.
Patty.
We're about to get journaling here. So, all right, everyone, go ahead and open up that journal. Let me get our ticker going on that lets people who are stumbling upon this know what we're doing here. And it's pretty simple what we're doing here. You read the prompt, you start writing, and then we all hang out and we talk about it. So, Alex, do you want to do odds or evens this evening?
I will do evens because I hear a bunch of sirens coming, so I'm going to mute my mic for a
moment. Oh, yeah, we live in Los Angeles where the heat is hot. So, yeah, take that for what you will. But look, hasn't stopped us in the past, so we're going to get going here. All right, here it is. The Quiet Arrival. Let's jam. All right. That was weird. All right. Think of a recent change in your routine or mood that you did not consciously plan or initiate. Describe how this new pattern is taking shape and what specific feelings arise when you notice its presence in your daily life.
Recall a specific idea, person, or interest that has been repeatedly coming to your mind over the last few weeks. What is this topic asking of you, and what makes you feel hesitant or excited about giving it more of your energy?
All right, next one. Imagine you are looking at your current life through a lens of pure curiosity. What is one thing that feels like it is just beginning to sprout? And how does your body react to the thought of this new growth taking up more space?
Reflect on where your attention has been naturally drifting lately when you are not focused on a task. Instead of judging the distraction, explore what the shift says about your current needs and the thoughts that are surfacing as a result.
of a part of your personality or a skill that feels like it is waking up after a long period of being dormant. Describe how this reemergence changes how you view your future and the specific emotions that accompany this sense of becoming. All right. Yay, we did it.
Did it. I'm loving the party animals. They're so cute.
Yeah, I'm glad we kept them. We had a little moment last night where I was programming some stuff on the site and I was like, Alex, I don't know. I feel like maybe the party animals are too childish. And she's like, you can't get rid of the party animals. So, you know what?
Absolutely
Look,
not.
if Duolingo can have cute little cartoons, Journal Party can have cute little cartoons too. And I think
Absolutely.
that's
This is a
okay.
journal party. We
Yeah.
have to emphasize the party. So I love it. These were great prompts, by the way, and really got me thinking. Went a little deep there, and yeah, I have mixed emotions coming from that. You know, there's so many things that I'm excited about in the near future, things that are coming up for me, things that I've kind of renewed my interest in. But simultaneously, with everything, and I gesturing broadly, everything going on in the world, it's just, you go on this like little high, and then I think for 2 seconds about where humanity's at right now, and I come kind of crashing down. So it's an interesting time to hold both of these, feelings, and so that, definitely know what I am talking about in therapy tomorrow.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, it got me thinking. It was good. It was good though.
Yeah, I mean, something that has been kind of on my mind lately, and especially with these prompts, is just like kind of like the way things can assume a sort of duality about them, and whether or not like they're inherently dualistic, like yin and yang, good and bad, all, love and hate, and all these things, like I don't know that they're actually like inherently one way or the other, but maybe that's just the way that we have to like kind of put things into different buckets and try to compare everything against itself so that we can like know where we are amongst all of this. But like the truth is like there's a little bit of that seed of that whole spectrum within all of us, and it's I don't know. I think maybe it's just like the nature of the way our society is evolving, which it feels like it's evolving at a breakneck pace, and it's really hard to like hold on to anything. And I think that's what's been causing me personal difficulty a little bit lately. It's like, how are you supposed to orient yourself when things change so rapidly in a way that like is superlatively different, or at least seems that way to me, than it ever has been in the past. And obviously I think it's good to have certain moral standards, moral codes, and things like that. But also, it's like, what do you do when like the world around you just doesn't even resemble anything that you're used to? Like, what are you even supposed to do? And like aside from how you feel like internally and emotions and everything like that, like it's also like I love to live in a headspace of things being like ethereal and spiritual and everything like that, but also like I've never felt the physical world so intensely, I think, in my entire life as I have maybe this past few weeks even, to where it's like, okay, like you feel one way or another about something, but like also it's like, wow, maybe just because certain things are hitting closer to home these days, but it's like oh, there are things out there that are like physically dangerous, or could not doesn't even have to be like in a way that it's hurting. Like the physical world is just taking on a completely different form, whether it's like the way that it looks, the relationships that are forming amongst different people or not forming amongst different people, or different groups of people. It's a really intense thing to be a part of. And it's interesting also to note, like, at least personally, why I feel compelled to like have to like label it, and like to take like have a certain stance on it, or like, and I think a lot of people like they rush to like take a certain stance on something, and like it's like, well, it's a really hard thing to do when there's so much going on. And also the onslaught of all the information that we're bombarded with on a daily basis. Like it's so easy to, at least for me, for my like circuits to kind of get fried. And I was looking at like some of these prompts I had written because I've noticed that like some of my routines and patterns have changed a little bit lately. And normally I'm pretty intentional about how I do that. I like to have a nice morning routine, and I do this at this time, whatever. And I think like what I noticed is, I'm deep in the journal party work. I'm doing all the coding, trying to build this new website and app for us all to enjoy here. And sometimes you just have to wait for, the computer to do its thing, for it to process and for it to, publish whatever it is that you're building and stuff like that. And so in that space, like I had found my way back onto some social media platforms that I don't normally spend a lot of time on, because there was certain conversations there happening that I felt were beneficial and constructive for me. Like, so to try, not to be too vague about it, what I mean by that is, like, I'm trying to learn how to build these things, build these apps, build these programs. And so I follow the people who teach that. And I found that very useful. And so I found myself getting more and more, onto those spaces. But then, life happens, the world happens, and I've witnessed like my feeds going from this thing that was super helpful to something that was just constantly like instigating rage out of myself. And like, I can be a little fighty, I can be scrappy and stuff like that, but I'm certainly not, I wouldn't characterize like my general state of being as one of rage and being like perturbed. Like, that's not how I would say that I orient myself, but I noticed that's how I've been feeling, just been feeling rage. And like, when I can't even like articulate it, or, or when, you just see people who have like just like a completely different view to that, having witnessed the same things, it's like, what are you supposed to make of that? It's pretty hard. So I've been noticing that I've been doing that, but like, I talk about therapy. I was in that today, and they were, my therapist was saying like, look, I know you feel a responsibility to be vigilant, but also you have to realize like what is also actually happening here. There's all sorts of, motives going on, people trying to change and your opinion and make you feel a certain way. Like, look, there's a reason why these platforms have started to make us all feel like this kind of rage and, are sowing this kind of division. It's because it creates engagement. I literally couldn't help myself, but have to, dig even deeper into this thing that I know is like making me feel terrible. Why is that? And it's like, well, because they make money. Look, I make a good living off of helping people put ads on these platforms. So I should know about the engagement side of things. It makes them a ton of money. But like, is it good for us? I don't know. I don't think it's good for me to feel the way that I've been feeling, and so it's like, all right, like there's certain value and there's certain utility to these things, but I think it's important that we notice like the effects and the changes that are happening inside of us. And that, it's like, okay, well, like, it doesn't mean we throw the whole thing out, but it's like, well, I certainly need to be a little, like, what I do need to be vigilant is about how I engage with these things. Like, so, a lot going on, obviously, under the hood here. And yeah, it's a lot though. And, like, just know that if any of you out there are feeling similarly, whether it's feeling perturbed, feeling the rage, feeling like you can't help but like look at this train wreck that is happening and feel a certain way about it. It's like, look, you're not alone in that, but like, I promise you, those platforms aren't where you find the connection to sort it out. Another thing that kind of came up in these prompts for me was I had a really nice conversation with a friend of mine today who I hadn't spoken with in a while. And we had a very deep, touching conversation, sharing personal life experience and, being supportive for each other and listening to each other and, like having a real human interaction. And, it made me like hyper aware that we cannot replace that with algorithms. No. It's just not going to happen. And if anything, we are being exploited by them. So I don't know what to do about all that other than modify my own behavior and see what happens. But, on the flip side, hey, like when I do modify that behavior, I get into building this thing where we actually come together and there are people having genuine human connections here. And, real discourse and things that actually do feel good. And so like, that makes me feel a little bit better about like where I sit in the world. Cause it's like, you see some stuff going on and like, you want to do something about it, but like, it's like, what am I going to do? I'm me in this little room, but I promise you also, I think all of us have our own little way of being able to contribute and show up, be the kind of change that we want to in this world. And, we're certainly not going to get in touch with that by getting on somebody else's rage machine, So, mic drop. That's all I got on that one. Yeah.
That's, hey, I feel you. You're totally, I don't know. I don't even know how to word
I
it,
think it's a
but
human response to something that is like increasingly obviously not human.
yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's yeah. I mean, it's a weird, strange world that we're living in, and strange times. But look, like everything has led us to here. So there's got to be some faith and some trust in that. I hope, right?
Yeah.
And
And we
just
get
keep
to
showing
have
up as the best version you can. Sorry, Alex. Go ahead. You were talking.
oh no, I was just going to say, and we get to have, authentic human interaction in this space, and that's a beautiful thing, and that's what the world needs more of. So we'll start here with Journal Party. This is
Yeah.
just such a great outlet and great forum for people and for myself, and I know for you as well, to kind of sort through this crazy thing called life.
Yeah. Well, let's see how everyone
Yeah,
else did.
we got
Enough
a lot of feedback
yapping
in there.
from boy Alex over here. We got Patricia says, time now to be realistic and practical. I still believe in kindness and helping others. I just need to let go of old dreams and passions and work on new interests like writing. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I know you shared earlier that 80, congratulations. Like that is not a thing to be upset about. Showing up on here, and it sounds to me like you got ways to go, and with new passions emerging,
That's beautiful.
that gives me hope, because look, I've had to put a couple of my old dreams to bed, essentially, as I deal with changes in the way that I look and in what my life looks like. And I don't always have the easiest time with it, but it is cool to see. Like, that's one of the things I love about Journal Parties. Get people from different walks of life with different sets of experience. And it's like, well, you're living proof that, like, okay, when I get to be 80, I'm still going to have new things that I'm excited about. Like, that makes me really, really happy in like a genuine way. And so I'm happy for you about that. And yeah, I mean, absolutely dig into writing. If you write anything, share it with us. We'd love to see it.
Please do, absolutely.
Geeky Witch says there is no such thing as too childish. Okay, good. Most of the prompts ended with me realizing that I have to wait. Hey, patience is a virtue. I don't always have a whole lot of patience. That I could probably borrow that one. So yeah, well, hopefully you got the patience. I assumed it, but yeah, for sure. A lot of that, that is an interesting insight, though, because I see stuff that I don't like, and immediately I'm like, I gotta change it. I have to control this, and it's like, well, sometimes you just gotta let it cook, right? So that's a good insight, Darlene. Appreciate it. Linda says, I love the little party animals. And yes, great props. Nice. All right. Party people, love the party animals. We're keeping them. Kathy says, I love the Journal Party animals. Yay. Okay. We're keeping it. Carrie, very thought-provoking, surprised myself as my thoughts poured out. Good. Yeah. It's weird too. Like, I never know, like I tend to write these programs with something that's going on and like an idea about what's coming out, when I'm writing the prompt, but then when I actually sit down and journal it, it's always a surprise, and in a good way. So I'm glad you guys are getting some value out of it. Darlene says the prompts made me look inside first. I liked them. Yeah. You go in, like, one of the things that I think is cool about this process. There's a ton of people on the internet who are going to tell you, what to think, how to think. Here's my method, buy my course, all this stuff, and 5 ways to do this and all that. And it's like, okay, but like, nobody knows your situation better than you. And so, you can dig in there, see what's in your heart and your soul, and, come out with something. And if it's confusing, you journal a little bit more, bring it to the party people. We'll help you sort it out. Patricia loves the party animals. Yes. Carrie, this was very timely for me. I lost my mom just a year ago. Very sorry to hear that. And we had a major move to New York from halfway across the country almost 5 months ago. Lots of changes in my life. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's constant.
All kinds of things, too.
For sure. I mean, I think, I do a lot of research to try to figure out like why people journal and what, the challenges they have, what brings them to journaling. And life changes is one of like the most popular reasons people journal, is to navigate life changes. And we have some great programs for it as well in the vault. So, dig into it. I think, it's like amidst all of this, it's like, yeah, stuff's going on, stuff's changing, but like if you check in with yourself, like, okay, you can at least like kind of timestamp what's going on and, make a decision. It might not be, I was going to say it might not be the right one, but who knows what's right? I mean, I think it's all like this subjective experience, and just, finding ways to actually be present during it. Like it's so easy to get out of touch and get on, like I said, get on someone else's ride or something like that. And ultimately it's like, well, like you are the one experiencing it. And if you're dwelling in the past or, worried too much about the future, like you're actually not experiencing your life, which is, unfortunately to me, I've become acutely aware lately of how fleeting and precious life is. And so, it's bittersweet, right? Like that can be a hard thing to deal with. But on the flip side, it's like, well, it's such a precious resource, our time here. And so it's good to check in and actually make sure you're experiencing it. Kathy says, recent changes is how my body developed limitations and my pain levels have increased, moving from super active and independent to having to slow down and ask for help. Depression hit, and then gratitude for raising kids that stepped in to help me. Wow.
Oh,
So yeah, ups and downs, but
yeah, Kathy, I'm not, 100% sure of your situation, but I know like chronic pain, and when you have things going on in your personal life, like it's pretty incredible how how drastically it can affect your body and your mood. And I'm very grateful that you have great children that you raised right, who are able to help you through this, and stay strong, because I know those lulls and hitting those those super painful days especially can really throw you off. So
yeah. Well, and Kathy, I know you've brought up your kids before, and I know how proud you are of them. And on the flip side, I don't know if they're ever exposed to any of this, but if they knew how fond you were and how you speak of them, it would probably make them feel so good. So I'm really happy that you have like a nice thing going on there. And I was journaling a little bit about a similar thing. It's like my life is changing, looking different. I got all sorts of new aches and pains myself, and never really thought that would happen, and never thought I'd have wrinkles and stuff like that. And also it's like I'm not only responsible for myself anymore. Like that's the new seed that was emerging for me, is like, oh, I have a family now. I have to like look at things through a completely different lens than just being super selfish and everything like that. And at first, like I was feeling like not so great about that, because I was been affected by all these things going on, a lot of fear coming up, and things that like feel like threats, and that things that I need to be protective about. But on the flip side, like, well, the most challenging things are a little bit easier now that I'm not alone in all this journey that I'm on. And so I definitely resonate with that. Like everything that's come up for me lately has been a lot easier, just because I have an awesome wife to help me navigate it. So a virtual high five. We'll give a real one in the house when we're done. Darlene says, it's the speed of how information travels with no control. Don't believe everything you see on social media. Most of it is not complete. Get your news off your local news stations, change your news feeds. Yeah, I mean, the other thing too, and I should be aware of this because I'm in, the tech space so much, is a lot of the people that you're arguing with online are not people. They are bots. They are AI robots, designed to make you feel a certain way. And it doesn't make it easier, because I don't know, me, I see something that's wrong and I just want to fight it. But, it's kind of crazy when you think like, oh, it's probably, it's a program. It's a computer program that, there's some other motive there. Yeah. Like, who knows? It's like, all right, sometimes just, all right, give me my journal, my wife, my dog, some food, it'll be good. Kathy says, my sense of becoming is re-embracing my creative side without being concerned with others' skill levels and judgments, just self-expression and healing. Interesting.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you can't get over, you can't get into that with like, what is it? The comparison trap, right? Like, it's like we're all having our own unique experience, I think for a reason, hopefully for a reason, right? But yeah, and similarly, like one of the things I've had to deal with is like, I can be competitive by nature sometimes, but I forget who it was. There was someone who was saying, talking about like Olympic athletes, and actually, I think the best ones are the ones who don't necessarily see it as like competing with others, so much as like competing with themselves and striving to be better. And those are the ones who are the most successful. I should find that quote. Linda says, same happened to me, Alex. I had to quit Facebook because I was becoming an angry, hateful person that I couldn't even recognize myself anymore. Yeah. I mean, it begs the question why too. I mean, but that can be enraging as well. And I think it's like, all right, well, look, if our breaths are limited on this earth, like, do we really want to spend it in a place where, we know that that's what we're feeling and we don't understand it? And how to, like, well, we do have the choice of whether or not we participate and to what degree. And you know what, like maybe if we actually started exercising a little bit of that control, these platforms would have to adapt to us instead of the other way around. And I think that's part of the problem is like, they've finally tuned these things to where, they're working in their best interest, their financial interests. But I mean, bigger picture, I don't think it's helping anybody the way it's just ripping like the social constructs apart. But, gotta be careful not to turn this into too much of a soapbox. Darlene says, information overload. Human beings can take too much information. It will overload your emotional supply. Yeah, I mean, like, Can you imagine if you handed an iPhone to a caveman? I mean, I'm sure we've probably evolved a bit, intellectually since the caveman days. But like, I mean, even a few hundred years ago, like you imagine handing someone an iPhone and like, well, they probably wouldn't even know. They'd be like, what? Who? Like, like they don't know the current events. Yeah, I mean, it's just all of those things like vying for your attention, and it's more. I think it's more than we were probably designed to deal with at all.
I agree.
So yeah, that's. I guess that makes me feel better though to know that other people deal with that, because it's like, okay, well, and it's not me. It's not me. It's this thing.
We're certainly not alone.
Kathy says, I can relate to that. I tend to do the same thing. Rather than just focusing on what I need to do for myself, they say comparison is the thief of joy. And that is so true, for sure. Oh my gosh. Yes. I have a friend in mind I want to send that quote to. But you know what? Whenever I think about helping someone else, I always got to turn it around. Say, I probably need that too. Kathy says, my two biggest distractions is TV shows and music. I can binge watch when my body and my overthinking brain needs to rest. Music is motivation to move a bit, express emotions that I thought was taboo. And I can definitely go down a rabbit hole since I like multiple genres of music. Awesome. Yeah. Music has what a cool thing, right? Like, talk about like the power of these different things to like have an effect on you, right? And we got these algorithms causing all this rage, but maybe I need to spend my time making my algorithm more music curated. And actually, I've been thinking about that lately. My Instagram algo has gotten a lot better because I started liking and following all the bands that I liked and all the music. And then I'm like suddenly it's like, oh yeah, like this feels good, as opposed to like, the Rage Machine. But then there's Rage Against the Machine, which is music that makes you feel rage. But maybe in a way that's necessary. I don't know. Anyway, I'm with you on the music stuff. I think, that's one of the reasons I like throwing on some good tunes while we're journaling, like kind of a good beat. Keep you moving. Got to keep moving. Just keep swimming. The Peaceful Disruptor. Happy Earth Day. Be Earth Day? Birthday. Oh, the cog. When they show like close up of like the cogs turning in someone's brain or the light bulb going off. I just got it. Darlene's Place. I just cleaned up my social media feed and I feel better. When I open my social media now, I see encouraging things. If I want to know what is going on in the world, I turn on my TV and watch
very
news.
smart, Darlene. Good call. I've had to do that. I used to follow a lot of animal rescues. I love animals, but seeing animals in despair constantly on my feed was just demolishing my soul. So I had to end up, unfollowing a bunch of things, but that's the right thing to do. So good for you, and keep, the news, and then you can enjoy
for sure. And you know what, like that hasn't stopped you actually being helpful on those things that you actually care about either, because I know you really care that animals have a home and that they're taken care of and stuff like that. And I think like in your desire to like show up and be helpful, it's like you participate in all those things, but they make you feel a certain way. But that you stopping that behavior of like engaging with that stuff that made you not feel good hasn't stopped you from being charitable.
It doesn't change how I feel, and none of that. You're right. It really doesn't. It just makes it less likely for me to sink into a depression first thing of the day. So
yeah. Another one, cleaning up the feed stuff. Yeah, I rarely go on, but when I do, I want my energetics in the space to not be disturbed. Sorry, I'm not a good reader sometimes. But yeah, it's like, I guess sometimes I think about life like a buffet, and it's tough with the social media feeds, because it's like, all right, like, well, like, look, if you knew a certain food was making you sick, you wouldn't pick it out of the buffet, right? Like you wouldn't partake in that. But I think like what we've got is like a conveyor belt, and you're just at the end of it, and it's just like you're forced to just consume whatever they're cramming down your throat. But yeah, I think maybe the more we can find ways to curate that experience, we can hopefully do a little bit better with it. Darlene says, we have control over our internet spaces. We have to take the time to make it what we want it to be. Don't let others control your emotions. They certainly will try.
I know.
Although I came in the room 16 minutes in, the prompts that I did engage with really took my thoughts to another level. Awesome. I love to hear that. Yeah. Awesome. And you know what? Like, prompts aren't, I don't know if you journal regularly outside of this, but like, I love a good prompt because it can break you out of your thinking, but also like, it's interesting to just see what shows up when you just create blank space as well. So, hopefully you're trying all the different avenues of journaling, and we're going to have some really cool ways for us to explore all the different ways to journal on the new site. So I think you're going to like it. Mary said, I loved this one. It reignited a fire to figure out new passions and use the ones that I have to impact and inspire the world in some small way. You just need to figure out how. Well, I know you've been doing the journaling stuff, and you're about to have a way to create your own programs and your own events. And I know you have your own little audiences that you were sharing the podcast with and stuff like that. And you got the books that you're working on, Mary. So I can't wait to show you what I got cooking over here. So I think you're going to really like it. Probably support you in that a little bit. All right. Information overload. Human being can't take too much emotional stuff. It will cause you to crash and become depressed. Take control of what you see on the internet and social media. I got to take control of the music right now.
Taking control, and we have more control than we think. So thank you for that gentle reminder, because I think I'm gonna go through and
curate
my feeds.
Yeah, I had to. I thought I had good filters on, and that I don't know. I get a little tinfoil hat about this, but I think they push what they want you to see regardless of what you do. So at least on certain platforms, gotta be careful. My feeds have been garbage. I'm so upset about it.
It's horrific. The things I see on a daily basis, just horrific.
Geeky Witch, says Kathy. That's what I'm focusing on this year too. Darlene says there are off buttons. There you go. That's the ultimate one, right? Just shut the dang thing off. I need to do that more for sure. Peaceful Disruptor. I'm very grateful that I caught Journal Party live this evening. It was a beautiful wind down. Awesome. Love it. Yeah, now the music's all chill too. Meant to say can't. Gotcha. All right. Linda says, love y'all. Good night. See you next Wednesday. All right. Well, Darlene's got all the hot tips. We need to get Darlene a YouTube channel. We'll have her a special guest on here. How to protect your peace. How to protect your. That's a good program. I'm writing that down, girl, Alex.
Yeah, let's work. Okay, next week, how to protect your peace. That's what we're going to
needed, right?
We're both writing it down.
Yeah,
yes,
I mean,
100%.
I think that's been kind of the theme here that's come up this evening. You know, amidst all of this, it's like, well, you know what they say in the airplanes, you got to put your mask on first. Like, you can't help anybody if you're spinning out. And so, everyone, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for showing up again. And it's so awesome to see all you guys coming back week after week. Got some really cool stuff that I'm working on. That's been its own journey, ups and downs, and excitement, heartache, heartbreak, all the emotions as I build this platform for us. But it's coming soon. I've got my own deadlines in mind for that, but it's coming along nicely. I think you're gonna really like it. And tonight we obviously journaled on the new platform a little bit, so we got all sorts of really fun things cooking for you all. That said, I know we do this thing once a week. We're gonna have way more sessions on the new platform. So, if Wednesday night's not it, or you just want to do more of this or do it at different times, we're going to have that for you. And look, when you're not in this space, like it's awesome that we can come together and clear some of the dust and kind of see things clearly, hopefully emerge with some clarity and some insight. But it's so easy to get sucked right back in. So, and not only that, look, the world can be tough. It's really tough right now, I feel like, for a lot of people. And so everyone, I really value you. I love you all, and I want you to stay safe. Be careful. These are interesting times. They're unprecedented. That doesn't mean it has to be bad. We were talking about in the beginning of this, like, optimism is a good thing. You have to reach for the better thought, the better feeling, and make tomorrow a better day. And I think that we can do that. Even as scary as it can get, as terrifying, as upsetting as things can be, also realize there's there's these platforms, people, whatever, they're forcing a very narrow lens of this world, into your face. And it's real easy to believe that, it's all like that if you stare at it for too long. And then you come on a platform like this, we all hang out and we see like, oh, there's so much more depth and so many more layers to all this stuff. And, it really, I think this life can be what you make of it, despite certain people trying real hard to take that away from you. Look, again, just be safe out there, everyone. Love you all. Thank you for showing up to this week after week. Let us know if there's anything that you want to be journaling about in the future. And hopefully in the next few weeks, we'll be, releasing the new app to everybody. And, we can start enjoying some of y'all's programs maybe. So, all right, Alex, is there anything else you wanted to add before we sign off this evening?
That's all for tonight.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, rest of your week. And as always, party on.